Hi, good morning. Morning, everybody.
Morning.
We're smiling behind our masks, I swear. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are Alexander's Aesthetics, and we are here with Andrea from BiON. And so we wanted to give you a quick little intro for those of you who are new to Alexander's Aesthetics. I'm Wendy, and I run the Colorado office. And this is Trini, who's our on-staff esthetician and educator from the Colorado office. We also have Tiffany over here, who you all probably know from our California office. The Alexander's Aesthetics was started in California by our family's cousin, Alexander, and then taken over by my mom, C, who is actually on, but she's not on video. So hi to my mom and C, if those of you know her. Tiffany's been working in the California office for over 10 years and has been an educator for us for a long time. So she is here. We're going to be answering some questions throughout in terms of Alexander's. We are a wholesale distributor store for skincare professionals, and we really pride ourselves on customer service and knowing the products and partnering with amazing vendors such as BiON. So we're so happy because we've been playing with BiON for we've been carrying part of BiON for like a year, but we've really been playing with the acne system for about 6 months. Yeah. And it feels really good to finally do a formal introduction to BiON for our partnership. So with that, I'm going to introduce Andrea, who's the educator from BiON, and she is going to walk through our products that we're carrying and a little bit about the acne system and why we're so excited to introduce it to you guys.
Cool. Perfect. Thanks, Wendy. I'm excited too. I think that as you know, we've kind of grown the BiON line with you guys and filled some holes here and there, and it's worked really well with your other lines that you carry too. So I'm excited. The acne line is one of our biggest lines as far as.
Can I interrupt?
Yeah.
Can I interrupt? I didn't do my whole intro. I forgot some pieces. It's been a while since we've done webinars. I'm so sorry. So I want to point out where you can ask questions, because since our attendees can't talk to us, we do have there's a control panel where you can submit a question. We are going to be answering questions throughout the presentation. We'll also have some time at the end for a formal Q&A, but go ahead and enter your questions in. If you guys can try to find that question box and then put in where you are calling in from, that one gives us an idea of who is here, and make sure that you can find that box. And we also just like to kind of know what the representation is around the country. Sometimes we get people in other countries, which is really fun. So go ahead and try to find that question box and type in where you are calling in from. And then the second thing I want to point out is we do have some handouts for you to download during the presentation. So part of that control panel that you'll see, there are some handouts that you can download. We have 3 things that we have attached. One is a copy of this presentation, so you will have that. It's all in PDF format. A second one is a handout that Farhana, who is our amazing, wonderful marketing manager, did for us. So we have like a trifold handout that you can download and you can give to your clients and read through as well. And then we also have our March flyer for Alexander's Aesthetics, so you can kind of see some things that are going on here in March. All right, so we have people that found the question box. Yay. So we've got Denver, San Mateo, Oklahoma, Redwood City, that would be my mom, Omaha, Nebraska, yay. So people calling in from all over, North Hollywood, Las Vegas, Nevada. Woo! Wonderful. So thank you so much for doing that. It makes us feel good that you can interact with us a little bit. Like I said, Tiffany and I will be in the background.
Susie and Karen, hi guys.
Yay. All right, Andrew, sorry for interrupting.
You're fine.
I swear I'm gonna back off now.
You're good.
Okay.
Okay, so like Wendy said, they're one of our distributors, and they've recently brought in the acne line, which we're really excited about because, like I said, it is something that we have really sold a lot of. We started as an acne company, so I'm going to talk a little bit about BiON itself first, and then kind of get into the actual acne line. So who is BiON? We have been around for about 24 years this year. And we started in San Diego as an acne line, and then we've kind of moved over the years into a full line. And that includes updating some of our acne products and adding in new ingredients and such as they come about, and research and studies have been done on them. So we've been around about 24 years. We've been family owned and operated the whole time as well. So we also really liked that about Alexander's Aesthetics, which it felt really like the philosophies fit really well together. So it was a good partnership for both of us. Our main focus on our acne line is going to be treating the chemistry of the skin and not just the symptoms. So that is what you'll see as we get into it. So our acne control products, our acne control line is what we like to call it, because we, like I said, we aren't just treating the symptoms. We don't just want the symptoms to go away. We truly want to change the chemistry of the skin so that we can control that acne, so that it doesn't, once you stop using the products, it doesn't just flare back up. So one of the ways we do that is by not using any benzoyl peroxide. We use a lot of natural ingredients such as like turmeric, wild marjoram, oregano, cinnamon bark extract, green tea. You'll see that as I go through the slides, but that's kind of more our approach is using those antimicrobial, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory type of products to treat acne. We do also use Mandelic, Glycolic, and Salicylic, and a little bit of lactic as well. And we use controlled amounts of salicylic, meaning we aren't going to top it out as high as we can go because we don't want to cause that dryness and irritation on the skin. So that's kind of the main gist of how we treat acne as far as what products we use, or ingredients we use. And then we have these nice little kits that you can see on the slide, which kind of make it easy to start on our acne line. Most people will start out using a kit, which is a 25-day kit typically. Some products will last you longer, like the moisturizer and green tea, longer than the cleanser and such, but they're great 4-step kits, which I like to think of the 4 steps, which I like you to write this down because it's good to remember. So you cleanse, treat, hydrate, and then heal. So cleanse, treat, hydrate, heal are kind of the main steps that you'll hear me talk about. Now, as far as what products you're going to use for that is going to depend mostly on their skin type. As far as whether they're oily to normal or more dry sensitive, or even acne, or sorry, even rosacea or acne rosacea. We have an option for that as well. So our main thing is that we want to focus on treating the acne, but we don't want to overdo it and dry out and irritate the skin, because as we know, if their skin is not healthy, it's not going to heal as quickly as it should. And also creates a lot of things like dried out breakouts and stuff like that that people tend to pick at and create scarring and such. So we want to minimize that and heal the skin as quick as we can. So keeping it hydrated will help with that. So as I go through this, like I said, you'll hear me talk about oily normal a lot, and then I'll give the recommendation for dry sensitive as well. So I'm just going to jump right into it. The first product in our step would be the Antibacterial Cleanser. This is an acne cleanser for your oily to normal. It uses cinnamon bark extract, which is going to be an antimicrobial, antibacterial ingredient, and it also has 0.5% salicylic acid in it. So pause real quick on that salicylic acid. Like I said, we use controlled percentages. So you won't see a product with more than 0.5% of salicylic acid in there. Now again, that's because we don't want to dry out and irritate the skin, but we want to introduce it in multiple different steps throughout, so that we aren't just shocking your skin with a 2% salicylic wash or something like that. So this will be 0.5 or less in most of the products, and you'll see that throughout the slides. So antibacterial step 1 in your oily to normal skin regimen. Then on the other side, we've got the Bacteriostat cleanser. Now this cleanser, it has a lot more anti-inflammatories in it. It's more for your dry, sensitive, rosacea and acne rosacea clients. It uses turmeric, wild marjoram, oregano, ingredients like that to be its anti-inflammatory and antibacterial properties. So this one actually is a great starter cleanser if you're not 100% sure whether they're actually oily or not. A lot of people will just head straight for the Bacteriostat cleanser because it tends to be like the safer route, just meaning that it's going to be a little bit more gentle. So if you're not 100% sure what type of skin they have, you could always start on the Bacteriostat and bump them up to the antibacterial once they're comfortable with using the products. So again, very anti-inflammatory, which is why it also is great for rosacea. Whether they have the little mite breakouts or not, it is great for just calming down the skin, reducing inflammation. So even like my mom, she's 63 and she is using the Bacteriostat cleanser, not because she has acne, but because she has rosacea. So it helps to kind of calm everything down. So acne cleanser for dry sensitive, but also a rosacea cleanser. Okay, so that's your cleanse options. Then our second step, our treatment step, this would be a salicylic glycolic gel. Pretty self-explanatory with the name, but it's good to know the percentages that are in there. So it's about 5.5% glycolic and about 0.5% salicylic. So this is definitely going to be a stronger option for your oily to normal skin clients who need and can handle that more like maximum strength option. So they would put this on morning and night, follow it with the next 2 steps I'm going to talk about. So they would leave it on. It's basically like their treatment serum for acne. It does also have the bilberry, orange, lemon, birch, pomegranate. We added niacinamide in the last 5 years or so to kind of bump it up a little bit. And then we have the follicle clearing lotion for our dry to sensitive skin. Again, they're pretty similar formulas when you look at them, but you'll see that this one has 1% glycolic compared to the 5.5% in the other one. So it's just a more gentle option. Again, we want to make sure we're recommending appropriate products for people based on their skin type. And that's kind of why we have the 2 options, is because we want to be able to still treat acne even if they've got dry sensitive skin without overdoing it. So that's why you've got a few options. So your treatment step is going to be between your salicylic glycolic and your follicle clearing lotion are going to be your main 2 treatment products. I will go over a few after I get through these steps, but they're going to be more specific clients that you'll recommend those to. So your main 2 treatments, salicylic glycolic or follicle clearing lotion. Okay, then that heal step. It's such an important step when you're treating acne, is to have some sort of product that you can use as like a spot treatment or a daily mask, something like that to just heal the skin and kind of bring the infection up and out of the skin. So we kind of have this unique product. It's called green tea clay poultice. The poultice action of it, like I said, is going to bring that infection up and out of the skin to just kind of eliminate it and kind of neutralize it. So a lot of people use this as a spot treatment. it's great to use at night, put on a little bit thicker and just go to bed with it on, and then wash any excess off in the morning, because most of it soaks into the skin, but you'll just have a little layer left in the morning that you'll just need to wash off if you use it as a thicker spot treatment. Another way you can use it is by using it as a full mask. That would be more for like your grade 3 or 4 acne who kind of need an all-over treatment. We also like to talk about area treating. So spot treating has kind of some back and forth, like, do you want to spot treat? Do you want to area treat? Do you want to treat everywhere? There's different opinions on that, but for this product specifically, you're just trying to treat the inflammation and heal those areas. So we feel like it's okay to spot treat or area treat with it, meaning if they just have breakouts on their cheeks, they could just apply it to their cheek area or their chin or wherever they're having the main concern and just let it soak into those areas. A little bit goes a long way with this product. A lot of people will overuse this and try and put it on like a really thick mask, but the purpose of it is for most of it to soak into the skin. So just a thin layer goes really far, again, or using it as a spot treatment. So this product will last you quite a while, but it's an important step to figure out and recommend to your clients how they can use it in their lifestyle. So the directions on it will say to use it morning and night and to let it soak in, which would be the ideal way to use it. But I remind estheticians that our clients don't always use our products in the ideal way. So especially with a product like this, which is like a mask base, we want them to make sure that they're using it because, like I said, it is that important step. So just figuring out how it will fit into their routine, which again, like I said, most people will just use it at night and just let it soak in overnight. Okay, and then our Hydrate Step, we have 2 options. We have our oil-free moisturizing gel, and then we also have Moisture Complex, which I'll get to on the next slide. But the Moisture Complex is what comes in our kits as a standard like kit moisturizer. So that's typically the top seller, but the oil-free moisturizing gel is a great booster, especially if they're more dry sensitive. Adding this in, you're going to get the hydration, and then using the Moisture Complex, you're going to get the moisturization. So this step is kind of for your more dry sensitive to add it in, or a lot of like teens, especially like boys, tend to like the oil-free moisturizing gel because it's a gel and not a cream. So they just tend to like the texture of it a little bit more. But the nice part about this is it soaks in really quickly. You don't have any balling issues or anything like that with it balling up on the skin unless you use way too much, which I use this every day and I have definitely been lazy and pumped way too much. And it has balled up on me, but like I said, the smallest little pea size is all you really need, and then you don't have any issues with that. So it soaks right into the skin. It doesn't sit on top or leave you feeling like sticky or anything like that. So it's a good hydrating option for your acne clients. And then again, the Moisture Complex I was talking about, that is going to be more your creamy option. The nice part about the Moisture Complex and why we put it in the kits is because it is kind of like a treatment moisturizer still, because it has that salicylic acid in there and niacin. It's also got some antioxidants, so it's going to be kind of like a treatment moisturizer, but it's nice and lightweight, so they're not going to feel greasy and heavy or anything like that, which is why we want to recommend it for your acne clients and why we need to educate them on why it's so important to use that hydration step so that they're keeping their skin nice and healthy so the skin can heal. So I know a lot of times with acne, they won't want to use a moisturizer, but again, that's why we include one in the kit. So that you can just start with these 4 products and you do 1, 2, 3, 4 every day, and it's just nice and simple for them. Yeah, so this also has the green tea, chamomile, hyaluronic, grapeseed oil. The grapeseed oil that we use in there is high quality cold pressed grapeseed, so it is non-comedogenic for them. Okay, so the next two products I'm going to talk about are kind of what I consider the specialty products for acne. They're going to be products that you're going to recommend less often than the Salicylic Glycolic or Follicle Clearing Lotion. Again, those are, like I said earlier, those are going to be the main two options based on skin type, and then these two options are going to be more situational based. So inhibiting gel, this would basically replace your Salicylic Glycolic or Follicle Clearing Lotion, or you could pair them together, but I'll get to that in a minute after I explain the product. So inhibiting gel is going to be for your severe acne. So grade 3, 4, 5 acne, this is going to be like their get it under control product. Meaning we're going to use it for the first few months, maybe month or two, basically until they run out of the first bottle of it, to kind of get and have like a more aggressive treatment that's also gentle on the skin to get the acne under control. So we use 6% lactic in this. Lactic is a great acid for treating acne. It's got anti-inflammatory properties. It's very hydrating. It's not harsh on the skin because of the molecule size, so it's a little bit more gentle than like glycolic. So it gives that option of getting that nice good exfoliation and treating the acne, but in a gentle way. So again, it's great even for sensitive skin. So this would be your get it under control product. You would use it as that second step. So you would cleanse and you would treat with inhibiting gel. The way you can use it paired with Salicylic Glycolic or Follicle Clearing Lotion is by using one in the morning and one at night. I wouldn't layer them together in the morning or the night. I wouldn't layer them because it's just going to be like way too much for the skin. With the 6% lactic, 5% glycolic, and the salicylic, your skin's just going to be like, what is happening? So I would just layer them, or geez, I would just use one in the morning and one at night if you want to be a little more aggressive. But a lot of people will just simply replace that step with the inhibiting gel, and then once they're done with that, then start them on the salicylic or follicle clearing lotion, if that makes sense. Okay, then the other specialty acne product, the Blackhead Whitehead Controller. So this product, I think, can get overlooked sometimes because we have the stronger options like the follicle clearing and the salicylic glycolic gel. But this product is going to be more for your clients who don't necessarily have like true acne, or what as estheticians we would maybe consider true acne, where they're getting like actual papules and pustules and inflammation and stuff like that. This product, the Blackhead Whitehead Controller, is going to be used as a daily exfoliator for people who maybe just get like whiteheads or just little comedones, maybe some oil buildup, or just the clogged pores, the blackheads on the nose or the T-zone area. This is basically just a gentle daily exfoliator to help keep those pores cleaned out and kind of regulate that oil production so that they're not getting clogged up. How it's used is you would cleanse with whatever your appropriate cleanser is based on your skin type, or, sorry about that, or you would use it, so you would cleanse and then you would use the Blackhead Whitehead Controller just in the areas that you need it. Unless you need it all over, then you can, but a lot of people will just use it like in their T-zone, or like a lot of people get a lot of breakouts around here or clogged pores around there from shampoos and conditioners and stuff like that. So that's another option to use it just where you need it or all over for that daily exfoliation. So as you see, it's got the 0.25% glycolic. So that compares to the other ones at 1% and 5.5%. So you can see it's a much more gentle option but still a necessary product if that's the issue that's going on with their skin is just whiteheads and blackheads and not actual papules and pustules and breakouts. So this would be used daily, twice, morning and night, for that daily exfoliation. I do have some people ask me if they can use it in the back bar to like almost as like a disincrustation fluid. You could, but it's really meant for a daily use to help, or daily use option to help soften everything up and then keep the pores cleaned out after everything has been softened up and extracted out of there. So you could, but it's gonna be better served at home using it daily as an exfoliator. Okay, so that's kind of like my acne line, but then I also have a few other products that kind of fit into acne or acne scarring. So I'm going to talk about those a little bit. They work really well. Like we have a lot of people who will say, okay, well, my acne is clear or mostly clear, where you're only maybe getting 1 or 2 breakouts here or there. Now I want to focus on the scarring or the tone and texture of my skin. That's where these products are going to come into play, where they're still going to have the antibacterial properties and exfoliation properties, but it's going to help treat that scarring that happens a lot of time when you have the higher grade acne, or if you have somebody who's a big picker with their skin. So our mineral cream exfoliating cleanser is a great option for tone and texture. It's got montmorillonite clay in it, which is a form of bentonite clay that has a lot of healing and anti-inflammatory properties to it, and it just gives the exfoliator a little bit of texture. So by exfoliating, we mean not like a scrub where you've got like the jojoba beads and such, where you find them behind your ears and in your hairline and all of that. It's not that type of exfoliator. It's just a tiny little bit of grit. So a very mild exfoliation, which again is going to help with that tone and texture. And also you've got the anti-inflammatory properties from the montmorillonite clay as well. So just a very gentle daily use option. It's not, don't let the word cream, I feel like I always explain the name more than the product with this one, because the word cream isn't like a thick, heavy, creamy cleanser either. So it's a kind of an in-between, like a cream cleanser and a gel cleanser. So it's a good option, especially if they are kind of done treating their acne and need to move on to something else. It's a good option for them. Okay, then I hop into our Mandelic Serums. Now this pairs really well with that mineral cream cleanser. Alexander's Aesthetics, they've been carrying our Mandelics. That's actually well, I don't remember if it was that or the sunscreen that you started with, but the Mandelic Serums, we just came out with these 5% toner pads, but we also have an 8% and a 15% serum. So you have a few different strength options, which is good for all clients, because if they've got that true thick, oily, sun-damaged skin who can handle 15%, you have that option. But if you've got a more sensitive client who maybe just wants a little gentle exfoliation daily, the toner pads are great for them. So, okay, I'm going to touch on Mandelic itself real quick, and then I'll get into the products. So if you haven't worked with Mandelic before, what it is, it's an AHA-like glycolic or lactic, but it is going to be a much larger molecule, which allows it to penetrate slower into the skin and cause less irritation. So if you even just compare like a glycolic to a lactic peel, you know that a glycolic peel is so much more active on the skin because it's such a small molecule. It's just soaking in really quickly and activating really quickly, versus lactic is a little bit more gentle. And then you've got Mandelic, which is going to be even bigger than lactic. So that gives you a visual of kind of the gentleness of it. But the great part about that is that it's going to help so many more skin types that way versus your oily skin who can really only handle daily exfoliation from glycolic. So Mandelic allows you to get that regular exfoliation without irritation. So the 5% Mandelic toner pads, we actually just came out with these in the last few months. We've been working on the toner itself for a while, wanting to make sure we got it right. But we decided to throw these onto pads because then it's just easier to use, right? So a treatment toner is applied differently than just like a hydrating toner, which could be misted on, versus we thought, well, if we're gonna do a Mandelic toner, we don't want people to just mist it. We want people to actually apply it to the skin to make sure that they're getting the full benefit of the product. So we chose to do it in the pads so that you could apply it directly to the skin and it could get that treatment product all over the skin versus just misting it or having to apply it to a cotton round on your own. So they're nice. It's 50 pads in a jar, and they can be used daily. Now, if they've never used any type of like acidic exfoliator on their skin, they may want to start like every other day. But otherwise, if their skin is pretty used to it, acidic exfoliator, then you could start them out with using them daily. Like I said, because it's a gentle acid, and at 5%, you're a little bit lower than the other serums. So using it daily to help exfoliate, tone, it's used as antibacterial pad for acne. You can basically, we're talking about acne, but it can basically be used for all skin types, including anti-aging. So it kind of reaches all ranges there as far as benefits that it could have on the skin. So for acne, it's antibacterial, it helps regulate sebum production, and it clears the pores, which obviously is going to help prevent acne. So we've got the 5%, and then we've got, like I said, the 8% and 15%. I'm going to kind of talk about these together because they're very similar formulas. The main difference is just going to be the strength of the 8% versus the 15%. So our 8% and 15%, in my opinion, would be a better option for people if you're truly treating like the acne scarring or the tone and texture. It's going to get them faster results as long as their skin can tolerate it. So pairing the mineral cream exfoliating cleanser with your Mandelic serums and an SPF is going to be your best regimen for BiON products when you're treating the acne scarring. That is typically the next step after treating acne, is to treat the tone and texture of the skin. So the Mandelic serums are, again, my option for a little bit stronger, more aggressive option of treating the scarring. The toner pads are going to be more of like an antibacterial, gentle daily exfoliation. So you could always start them with the pads and bump them up. So that's always the nice part about having those different strength options is, worst case, you start them lower and bump them up to make sure, again, that you're not drying out or irritating that skin at all. Okay, then the last few products here are going to be some additional products that obviously we'll want to add into people's lines. They don't necessarily come in the kits, but we all know as estheticians that using a daily SPF is important. So titanium dioxide SPF 35, it's one of our biggest selling products. Like I said, it's one of the first products that Alexander's Aesthetics brought in. It's a physical SPF that uses titanium dioxide and zinc oxide to get that physical protection. It uses a what we call like a high-tech titanium dioxide, which actually has a reflective coating added to it. So it allows us to use a lower percentage of zinc oxide. It's about 4% of each. So that is the nice part about this, is that it goes on basically like a moisturizer. So you don't get that white cast or any of that like greasy, sticky SPF feeling left behind. And I use this daily as my morning moisturizer. So for a lot of people, unless they have more dry or excessively dry skin, can just use the SPF in the morning as their moisturizer and their SPF, which is nice because then it's one less step for people to have to do in the morning as well. So one other thing about it is we do micronize our ingredients. We don't, for our SPF, we don't nano size, but we micronize our ingredients, which just helps break it down a little bit so that, again, you get that nice smooth finish and not that white cast or thick, heavy feeling at all. So our SPF, we have tinted and non-tinted. So this would be our non-tinted option. And then we've got a tinted version, which comes in light, medium, and dark. The tinted options, they are the same formula as the non-tinted. They just have mineral powder added to them, not mineral oil, but mineral powder added to them to get those different tints. So you'll get the same formula between the two, but obviously the tinted will be tinted. So you kind of get that extra step with the tinted as far as it being a makeup primer, an SPF, and a moisturizer, again, all in one step, which again saves more time. So it's nice because it's kind of a lightweight coverage. It's not going to be like a full foundation. So the two things about that: number one, it's nice because then you can just add like a finishing powder or setting powder or something on top of it and just go with that for the day. Or the other part of that is that if you're kind of in between colors, because we have some people who will float, including myself, kind of between light and medium, that if you've only got light on your shelf, you'll mostly likely be fine. I have, like, again, I have floated between the light and medium and it has been fine. It's not, the medium doesn't turn me like orange if like it's dead of winter like it is now, and I am a lot lighter right now. So that is the nice part about those, is that if it's a little off on your color, it kind of adjusts to your skin tone a little bit. So we have the non-tinted and the tinted versions for that. Okay, then I've got, I'm going to talk briefly about body acne. So we have options for what I like to recommend people start with the body wash instead of, sorry, I don't know how to mute it so that it won't ring at all. So okay, so body acne, the body wash is where I recommend people start. Mostly because it's going to be more cost effective for them to start with the body wash than using the actual cleansers and treatment products that I talked about previously. Now, if the body wash is not enough for them, you can most definitely treat their body acne with the options that I talked about earlier for cleansers and treatments and such. But like I said, they're going to want to just use them in those areas and not as a full body wash. So this is a good option for keeping the skin hydrated, not stripping it. People will spend so much money on their face, but then not even think about their body wash and go buy a $3 body wash that's gonna dehydrate their skin and cause some damage to their skin that they don't realize that they're causing. So this works for both body acne and just as a regular daily wash. So it's not going to be too aggressive to use daily. And then we've got the Naturally Soft Body Lotion, which is, again, like a lightweight lotion that can be used daily. Won't clog the pores for body acne, keeps the skin nice and hydrated so it can heal. And again, can be used daily whether you have body acne or not. The nice part about both of these is they have a light like citrus scent. So whether they're male or female, you can use these, and you aren't gonna like, men aren't gonna walk around smelling all floral or anything like that. So that's the nice part about these, is they're citrusy. Okay, and the last two items that I have are our professional treatments for acne. One of our enzymes is the Pomegranate Papaya enzyme. This is an enzyme that's used as, with or without steam, and it can be left on the skin for 10 to 15 minutes to get that nice exfoliation. So it's gonna help soften the skin, and it also helps hydrate, being in a nice creamy base, which is great for your acneic skin. It can be used for all skin types, but we especially like to use it for acne because of those gentle hydrating properties to, again, help soften and exfoliate everything. And then it does also have antibacterial properties to it as well, which again makes it important for treating acne. And then our masks that we recommend using. So that was our exfoliating product. So then using our mint mask in your back bar is gonna bring a lot of, again, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory properties to the skin. It's going to feel nice and cool at first, like a minty feeling would. But the nice part is if you ever have anybody who're like, I don't know if I want to put the mint mask on them, they're pretty sensitive, you can actually dilute this mask down with just adding like a few drops of water to it, which then just dilutes it down a little bit so that they can still get those antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties, but it'll just be a little bit more gentle on them. So exfoliates, it tones, it's antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, has that nice cooling effect, which with a facial, we all know that that feels really nice after you've done the exfoliation and all of that, to kind of get that cooling effect. So that is kind of what I've got. That's our acne products. It's kind of a lot of information, but I just remind you that it's a simple process. Just, you know, start with the 4 basic steps, look at what their skin type is, figure that out, teach them how to use the products, and it'll be a simple regimen for them. And just making sure that you're educating them that if they want to see results, they're going to have to be consistent with it. You know, that's that 90% success rate is based on consistent use of the products. And then that other 10% is going to be more internal issues and stuff like that, outside factors that we need to look at other than topical products. So it will work if they use it, and if they're wanting to talk with their esthetician, that's what you're there for, is, hey, this doesn't feel quite right, or hey, we need to change this here, like what is this? So that's a nice part about it, is you have different options throughout BiON. It's not just these are the 4 products, that's all you have, that's all you can use. You have options. So that is what I have. Tiffany, I think you.
Can I ask 2 questions that people have asked in specific to BiON? For the Blackhead Whitehead controller, Hannah would like to know if you would recommend that for Melia.
Yes. Yep. That would be a perfect, nice, gentle option for him to help just control that so it doesn't get built up.
Okay. And then the second question, and then we'll let Tiffin. Second question from our lovely friend Deb McCloskey. Do you recommend using these products if someone is on Accutane?
No.
Okay.
I would not treat, as far as the actual acne, just my personal opinion, until they've been off of it for 6 months. Their skin is just already going, I mean, you could do moisturizers and SPF for sure, but as far as the actual treatment products and all of that, their skin's already going through enough that I would go off based what their dermatologist recommends.
Okay, great. Okay, Tiff, I just want to get those 2.
Yeah.
I don't have anything that exciting. I've been playing with BiON obviously in my own treatments and on my own face. Trini is rad, and she actually got to do some before and after pictures. I am not savvy enough to do such things. But what Trini also did is what all of us as estheticians do, is she grabbed all of the other products that we already carry, that we already know, to see how well it played with BiON. And BiON does play very, very well with everything else that we carry. So I'm pretty much going to say it will go with anything else that you already use. So with that being said, you are going to have questions, obviously, about everything Trini used. And go ahead and throw those in the questions box. I'm going to go ahead and try to answer those as Trini is going through her process. But we're going to try to be really specific, BiON specific for Andrea, since we've got her here today. That way, then we really make sure that we got all your BiON questions answered. If I can't get to you in that questions box quickly enough with the other questions that you might have, also, I mean, always Trini and I are here for you. So you can always follow up with us later so that we can make sure we get through all of that. But the reality is not everything is going to work with everyone. And Andrea, being a working esthetician, also gets that. So we do want to keep that part BiON specific for Andrea, but I still definitely want to make sure we answer all of your other product questions, because Trini totally did a really good job with the process that she had, and you will see these pictures. And it is pretty uncanny at how quickly BiON does work and how well it does actually work. And as a dry, and I mean, you can see I got after one myself earlier. As a dry, now breaking out person with all of the mask wearing, it's so wonderful. I just love it so much. Okay, I'm out.
All right, I will get this slideshow going from our end, Andrea. Thank you, Tiffany. And there we go. All right, Trini, all you.
Okay, cool. All right, so this is our little case study. I adopted this fella about a month after he had started the oily acne kit. So he's 15 years old. We started him in December. Oops. Let's see if we can switch over our slide.
Oh boy, hang on a second. Why can't we page down? There we go.
Oh, there we are. Okay, cool. So here he is. This is, I think, before or maybe like a week after he started. He started on the oily acne, and I didn't really have any visual of him, so we kind of just did some guessing. You know, COVID times, you're going to have to do some COVID assessments. But if you take a look at this, you can kind of see he's more dry acne. He's got some congestion going on, inflammation and redness in those areas. He's a teen, so he's active. He does gymnastics. He's probably got some environmental things going on that have also caused some issues with acne. And so, like I said, we started him on the oily acne kit. That was kind of off of a description of what was going on. It's kind of hard, I think, when you're the person experiencing the acne, because you feel like you're having a lot of oily issues. And so I wanted just to get a close-up of both sides of his cheeks. So that's what you see there in that lower screen. So weeks 1 through 3, his home care consisted of the Antibacterial Cleanser, Salicylic Glycolic Gel, the green tea poultice, and the moisture complex. So I think because he was on products that were maybe a little too much, because I think he definitely was more along the dry side. He's had flaking and some redness started to occur. So we had to reassess what was going on. So he came in and I finally got to take a look at his actual skin, and we switched him to the dry acne kit and added some hyaluronic acid. And the hyaluronic acid doesn't have any creams or oils, so it's really good to add in to a home care plan if your client is experiencing this with acne. So you can see down in this area, he's got some redness. He started getting really peely. Just want to say he was a really good trooper, though. He stayed consistent, and he kept us pretty well informed the whole process. So in January, this is a month later, he continued his home care. You can see his acne is going down, but his redness redness and flaking continued. And I think what started happening about a month after is that he just had a lot of dead skin sitting on the surface. So we needed to get some exfoliation going. So he came in for a facial. I did a gentle lactic enzyme on him. And then post-facial, I just wanted to revisit his home care plan because with an enzyme, you can expect, some flaking to occur. So that's what you see here about a week after. He had dryness, flakiness, redness. I think some things started to kind of purge up here, like on this area, and then on the sides, I'm sure. But he continued his dry acne kit, his pure hydration, and then I added Hush Hydrate Gel from Hale & Hush. So as Tiffany said, BiON's really awesome because it does work well with other lines. I kind of fall heavy onto Hale & Hush when I'm nervous about redness or anything. And I feel like it really helped. I had him wear it as a mask at night. So Hush Hydrate Gel can be used as a mask or a moisturizer. So I just had him layer it real heavy and then sleep with it. So this is about 2 weeks post facial, and you can see a lot of the redness started clearing up. The acne is much better. His skin looks a lot less inflamed. And I just wanted to add for any like irritation, quiet wash, which is also from Hale & Hush, just every other day to work with his Bactrostat. And then I put in Mist Me for hydration. The reason I added the Mist Me is because he is active and I don't want him to grab his pure hydration serum with his fingers and apply it to the skin, especially, teens and washing their hands and, sweating and all this and that. So I just wanted to give him an easier option just to kind of spritz at a distance so that he wasn't introducing new bacteria to the barrier. And then moving forward, I just wanted to really focus on getting the redness down, controlling the barrier, making sure that his acid mantle was in good condition and getting redness down. So he stayed really consistent on his home care. I think this is the following week after that. You can see a little bit of dryness there on the chin, but overall getting much better. Every time I see this picture of him, for some reason, I feel like he has an earring on and I'm like, he just got stylish in this one. But you could see he's just doing really well. And like I said, he was such a good trooper and he stayed really consistent. This was about a week after that picture. And it's hard with acne because you just have to be so patient with the process. And keeping in mind that this was still only about maybe a month and a half, or maybe a month and 3 weeks. So acne does take time. It's just a process of reevaluating, seeing how their skin reacts to certain things, and maintaining that barrier along the way. And here's a picture of all profiles. So it looks a lot better. I feel like he just looks happier too and a little bit more comfortable in his skin. So this is the 25th of February. You can see redness has gotten a little bit more under control. Still has a little bit of dryness. We're still working on the acne, which is good. So at this point in his home care, we still had him on the dry acne kit. I asked him just to pull back a little bit on the green tea poultice and his treatment serum, just so that we could focus, like I said, on barrier repair and making sure that we can get the redness down because his acne wasn't as active anymore. So I just had him bring in his treatment in the green tea poultice, like spot treating, and kind of when he felt he was having a flare-up, which has worked really well. And then here are his before and after. So, I mean, you can just see a big difference with that redness and the irritation in his skin, even the peeling. So just encouraging that along the way that it gets better. He was he was a great client to have because he didn't get nervous, you know, with the pilling. Definitely concerned as a teenage boy, like, oh, how long is this going to last? But very patient with the process. So he was a great candidate to kind of trial and error with some BiON stuff, and he did really great. And here's the other side, just a huge difference. And so just a little side note, just remember with acne, you want the goal to be healthy skin. It's not perfect right away, but as long as we can get it in that healthy state, it's easier to maintain your acne. So thanks. This was a lot of fun.
Yay. Thank you, Trini. Yeah, let me just pop in. Tiff, I wanted to see if there's any questions that we have.
Susie has a question. What SPF was he using?
We had him on the BiON.
BiON SPF.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I didn't know if we had any other questions. There's some cool, so there's, as Andrea had said before, the Bacteria Stat, I love this cleanser. When I start having issues, Alexander's now carries the My Skin Buddy, which I've enjoyed. I literally sat there for 5 minutes with just the Bacteria Stat cleanser on the area that I was breaking out and the My Skin Buddy on the cleanse, and I just slowly allowed it to run over, and it was one of those like, yes, get it. You could feel it coming out, and but again, it didn't dry out, so I could still do all of my makeup. I could use all the other products after. So you can, again, mix and match. It works really well with tools because we love our tools. I know we do, right? So you can, if people are still not ready to come in for all of the treatment, like what Trini did. But again, if you look at just the progression, him taking care of his skin at home did a huge difference in his skin. I mean, you could even tell how much more hydrated he was in that last one. If you looked around the eye area, he wasn't as kind of crepey in that area. His skin was hydrated. And I mean, as you guys could tell, it obviously was healing much better. So, and like Trini said, it's all about patience. But you can do a lot with this with a little bit. You don't need a ton of product. You don't need to use all of the steps all the time. You can do mix and matching. And those little kits are awesome. I sell a ton of those because that's such a great way to start. And it lasts a really long amount of time too, which is huge.
Yeah, and it gives them a chance to kind of test out their skin too. And like Trini said, you had started them on the oily kit because that's the information that you were given. That's what it seemed like was the appropriate option. And then just having that adjustment of, okay, well, let's just switch out the cleanser and treatment to a little bit more gentle option for you. Or like you said, even having them back off on those treatment products, it's like you have to adjust to their skin. And that's why, and the case study seems extreme, but like as far as like what his skin looked like and stuff, but it's also like the best like option or showcases that like, okay, well, here we are as estheticians, let's reevaluate. But what other options do I have? And that's why, as I was going through, you have those main options, but you have other options throughout, and you're going to help work their skin up because most of the time they have used everything in the world on their skin before they come and see you. So they're going to need that barrier repair. They're going to need that exfoliation. They're going to need that gentle hydration and all of that. So I love that case study because it wasn't just straightforward. Oh yeah, we just used these 4 products and that was it and it was perfect. And look at my skin now. But you will have people like that, but it just showed that it wasn't just a simple case, which a lot of times with acne is the case. So
we've got, I don't know if you saw this in there, Jill has, this is actually a really good question, and Jill, I'm glad that you have asked this. It says, my clients are reporting a reaction to the BiON Acne kit. Is this normal? So before Andrea, you address it, I just want to kind of remind everyone that 1, it depends on the kind of reaction that we're having. And 2, I think no matter across the board, when you are going after any kind of acne, bacteria, all of that, there's going to be some kind of I don't know if reaction is the word I want. There's going to be some kind of stimulus somewhere that the skin may either be more red or more flaky and all of those things. So again, it's really looking at kind of which product could be creating that extra kind of piece, and either switching that piece out, backing off on that piece, only doing that piece a few times a week. I don't think that it's always, like Andrea just said, it's not always necessary to do all of the steps all of the time. So
yeah,
Andrea, take away.
And what I would add to that is that I'm not 100% by reaction if you mean like a histamine reaction or if you mean like a breakout reaction. So I'll just kind of address both. So if it is like a histamine reaction, obviously we want to evaluate the products. Okay, what's the common denominator? Have they used this before? Have they ever had reactions before? One thing I did forget to mention when I was talking about the antibacterial cleanser is it does have cinnamon bark extract in it. So do some of the other products, but that's the main antibacterial option in the antibacterial cleanser. So about 1 or 2, I can't remember if it's 1 or 2% of the population does have an allergic reaction to cinnamon bark. So if it was a histamine reaction where they're getting the redness, the rashy, stuff like that, the sensitivity, you can just switch them out to the bacteriostat. The bacteriostat does not have the cinnamon bark extract in there. Again, it's not, even if they're oily skin, it's not wrong to put them on the bacteriostat. So that would be an option if it was a histamine reaction to switch out the cleanser. The other products that have cinnamon bark extract in them are a way lower percentage. So typically, unless they're very, very hypersensitive to it, they can still use the green tea, and I think the inhibiting gel also has cinnamon bark extract. So typically they're fine with those, but again, it's such a lower percentage that typically you don't have a reaction. So if it's histamine, that's an option. If it's a reaction as far as like purging or breaking out, it is normal between week like 3 or 4 for a lot of people to have that purging. That just expect it, educate them that this could happen. It's good. You know, you're bringing up, we know that you're bringing up all of that bacteria and everything that's been suppressed before and wanting to get that out of there. So that is that happening if that's what you had, but keep consistent with the routine. If you back off, your skin's probably just going to purge again later. So keep consistent with the routine, maybe even using the green tea a little bit extra if they're having purging in those areas. Just applying it more regularly, keeping it nice and hydrated. It should heal within a week or so is the typical time frame that we see that. And then the other thing I always like remind my customers, and I even have to remind my sister-in-law of this because I'm helping her with some acne stuff right now, is that most likely, not always, but most likely if you're having a breakout when you're using an acne specific product, it's not the cleanser or the treatment product that's making you break out. That there's a difference between a cause of acne and a symptom of acne, and a breakout is a symptom of acne. So remembering that if you're using a new product, your skin's gonna need time to adjust, and it's gonna need to bring all of that out, because you're not going to push it back into your body. So, you know, it's got to go somewhere. So it is normal, especially when you're using a good, healthy acne product, to have those little breakouts at first. So just preparing them before they start it is going to help ease them through it. So I'm not 100%. Again, I wasn't sure which way by reaction, but if you ever have issues, reach out to Alexander's, and if they can't figure it out, then they'll reach out to us. So if it's,
yeah, it does look like you answered it, because she said that looks like tiny little bumps, like a rash. So it might have been in the cinnamon bark in there. So yeah, Jill, maybe just switch a couple of those things out and do a little more trial on it, and you'll probably see a good difference. So yeah, thanks, Andrea. I think those were all the questions, guys.
I think so.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? We're getting a lot of thank yous. So thank you, Andrea, so much for all the info. So the way we work here, obviously, if you purchase from us, please call us for questions. But we have reached out to Andrea numerous times. If we can't get something answered, we we love the education that they provide. That's one of the things that we really look for in terms of partnering with a company is the, oh yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Tiffany. Here's our two estheticians with their Bibles right next to them. Anyway, their education is really good. They really know their products inside and out, use them. And this book, well, I'll let Trini talk about the book because she's the one that uses it more than me.
The book is, if you've ever looked at like a skin script manual, it's very similar. I love this because it's just so easy to kind of look in, see what ingredients are in the product. It has a lot of education, treating acne, different skin types. It has, oops, I'm going the wrong way on this camera. I'm so sorry. Also has your consent forms and all of the good information that you need to kind of treat different skin types. So definitely a must. It's nice. We carry these. They're $10, and anytime anyone's looking at the acne kit, I'm like, make sure you get a book because it is helpful to have this in back bar or recommending products for their home care. So, yay!
Yay!
It's a good starter guide too, and like you said, it just even has like some general skin knowledge in it, which is what I liked about it, because it helps refresh that, oh yeah, that is how acne works. That is the steps and what's triggering it and such. You know, we learn that so many times over and over, but then refreshing yourself before you're bringing in an acne line is important. So
yep.
Cool.
All right, let me bring my screen back up. We'll wrap this up here. So I do always want to thank everyone for joining us. We know that everybody's busy right now, which is a great thing. Yay. People are back to work. So thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Andrea, thank you for joining us. Again, we are Alexander's Aesthetics. We have 2 locations, one in California, one in Colorado. We obviously work well together. So if, one is out of something, somebody else, we service the whole country between the two locations. A few things about us: we do offer same-day shipping. We've lowered our free shipping minimum. So for online orders, anything over $150 is free shipping. We are doing curbside pickup right now. With COVID, the Colorado store is open by appointment only, though. California store is getting there, but they've just had a little tighter restrictions with the numbers over there. The other thing we do want to point out is we do drop ship directly to your client. So we have that option on our website as well. So if you, don't want to carry inventory, you don't have inventory, you can order online from us and we drop ship directly to your clients. We don't include an invoice in the box or any, information pamphlets about Alexander's Aesthetics. It just literally goes directly to your client with the products inside, and you handle the payment directly with your client. So want to point those out. And as always, we don't have any minimum orders. Feel free to call us at any time. We love the QR code that Farhana puts in. I know this isn't a big deal to the younger generation, but Tiffany and I always get really excited about the QR code. You can get our information through there. Call us. We are available by phone, but we do also have a really comprehensive website that has a lot of information on there as well if you want to do your own research. So I think that is it for today, and thank you so much, and I hope to see you all again at the next webinar.
Thanks
everyone.
Thank you. See ya.
See you soon.